Hi there, welcome back. This is the start of chunk 3 of financial management, and it's the processes of financial management. So far we've looked at the role of financial management, we've looked at the key influences on financial management, and now we're going to look at the processes of financial management before we get into strategies to deal with key issues that might arise in financial management. So as part of processes of financial management, the first thing we need to really understand is, well, what does that actually mean? As you can see there, a description of processes of financial management really is that a business must plan and implement a clear system of management to ensure that they have an idea about what their key outflows are in terms of the costs of the business, and that they are matched by revenues of the business, so money that's coming into the business in order to ensure that they don't run into financial problems in the long term. So it's considering, okay, what processes need to be in place to ensure that the business can stay on top of the revenues and the costs of the business, and the way that the business can do that is through 5 main strategies. Okay, that's done through assessing the financial needs of the business, which I'll go into detail on shortly, implementing some budgets, undertaking and utilising record systems, considering the financial risks that relate to this particular business, and lastly, implementing some financial controls in an effort to plan and implement effectively to ensure that in the long term the business has a really good grasp of the revenues and expenses, and therefore the long-term success of the business is assured. So we'll start off with financial needs. So in terms of, we'll go through this as a step-by-step process. So financial needs, what does that actually mean? Okay, well that means having a look to see what are the needs of this particular business going forward. And in particular, okay, what's the overall business plan that has been put in place to date? How much finance is going to be needed for each individual part of the business? Okay, if you think about Qantas is obviously a big business that has many different aspects. It's got Qantas, it's got Jetstar, and then within that they've got catering, they've got frequent flyer program. There are a number of different aspects to that business. So if you're Qantas and you're assessing your financial needs, it would be, okay, what finance, either debt or equity, is needed for this business going forward, and for that finance, which part of the business would that finance be allocated to? Okay, that would all be part of assessing Qantas's financial needs. It also relates to future cost estimates and future revenue estimates, and lastly, putting those two together, so an estimation of cost and revenue, so that the appropriate finance for the future can be put in place. So that's a brief overview of the first part of planning and implementing, which is assessing financial needs. Another important step is budgeting. Okay, so budgeting is quite simply planning expected future costs and revenues over a set period of time. So that budget might relate to 12 months, it could be 2 years, it could be a 5-year budget, and a business might have all of those budgets done at the same time, and they're constantly being reviewed. Budgeting also relates to considering the financial outcomes of the business. So what are our credit levels? How much money is owed to us? What are our debt levels? How much money do we owe external parties? And also, what's our cash flow position? That all comes under budgeting. Budgeting also has an important part in identifying threats and problems that could be associated with the business in the long term. For example, you might identify in your budget that there is an expected cash shortage in 12 months' time or in 2 years' time. If you think about a business that's seasonal, a budget would assist to identify those times in the year when they might expect to have a cash shortage. And it's also going to allow managers to implement strategies so that they can overcome those problems. So how would that seasonal business, the ski hire business, overcome that cash shortage in the short term to ensure that in the long term that business is able to survive? Budgets also help administrative control. So allowing you to compare, okay, well, what was our projected performance? What did we expect to happen in the short term, medium term, long term, in terms of cash flow, in terms of revenue, in terms of expenses, and what actually happened? So what was the difference between what we planned to happen and to what actually occurred? And then we can go back, or the business can go back and review that and potentially change long-term budgets for the future to ensure that they are more accurate based on that historical information. Budgets really have 3 main elements to them, or aims to them, I should say. They allow managers to plan effectively for the future, and what I've already said about considering where's our future revenue and where are our future costs expected to be. It allows you to monitor and control your financial plans, so actually keeping on top of them on a day-to-day or week-to-week, month-to-month basis, those plans that you have in place. And thirdly, it actually provides some discipline for the implementation of financial plans. So not just going about your business day-to-day without really considering, what revenue or what expenses you're expecting to receive. It's actually giving you discipline because you're trying to stick to those budget measures that you have you expected to occur. Okay, on the next video we'll go through record systems, financial risks and financial controls.